Alright, so a few people have asked me to do a walkthrough of Elkhorn Front 9. This is a course that's a new course. I have played it in the cabinet version a lot in the past, but it's kind of new to me again right now. I'm going to play this with pyros. I don't think I've ever played it with pyros before. I've only played it with insiders. So we'll kind of see what happens. Just information about this course as far as this game goes. It's very much a stinger course. I mean, you're going to see a lot of javelins use the wind cutter balls in this, which isn't my forte, but we'll give you a good idea about what the shots are. We'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky here. This first one, just want to get it close. The fairway down there has a lot of undulation on both sides, so it kind of funnels it right down to the front no matter what you do. So I'm actually going to go over here. I'm just going to give it a silver tee, and I'm going to super roll. And all I'm trying to do is kind of get it into the left side there and let the terrain of the fairway do the work here. So it should just kind of hit there and then kind of spin around, and I'm okay with that. So it doesn't matter where you stop, kind of, because the next shot most likely is going to be a stinger shot of some sort. So I haven't been having a whole lot of luck with the zero hybrid on this hole. So I think we're going to try a different approach here. Let's try the 1-iron. So the 1-iron, we're only 70 yards from the pin. I'm going to take that off. We're going to go wind cutter. So on the shot meter up here, halfway is about 130. It's 259. It's a 259 club. So we're only 70 yards out. So it's going to be a little bit less than half of half, let's say it that way. So a little bit less than a quarter here. It's definitely going to roll pretty decent amount. So long story short, what that means is that I'm not going to put a whole lot on this. And we're just going to try to roll it out there as best we can. Oh, we got close. Okay, can't make everyone. Mark made it. So here's another one. Depending on where the hole is, this can also be another stinger shot where you just kind of wind cutter it in there. This could be interesting depending on what the clubs look like distance wise. I think theoretically we can still try this. It's a little bit of a scarier shot because where it's going to land is going to be very close to that water. But I think we're going to give it a go. I'm actually going to give it just an extra little boost. Tiny bit of wind with the wind cutter on. But all I'm trying to do at this point is get it to not hit the water, hit the green, and just kind of trickle to the right. So yeah, not the perfect situation. You saw where it landed. It was real close to the water. So I think that was kind of best case scenario for trying the Stinger 3-wood. This hole plays like it's uphill. If I were to hit that 3-wood or 3-iron, just naked right there, even with that 7-mile-an-hour wind, I would be curious if I'm going to get there. That said, I am curious to see what would happen if I hit the 3-iron with a high tee with that wind. I still feel like it's going to be a little short. Let me look around here. I'm going to try it because it's definitely kind of calling my name. I'm only going to backspin this though because I have a feeling that it's not going to get me far enough here to use a super backspin. It could be wrong. Yeah, if I would have used super backspin, I would have been in the water. I think the takeaway from that hole is that it does play a little bit uphill, and definitely club up or hit it a little harder or use a golden tee. So you have a couple options here. One option is to go over to this landing pad. You need a very high loft club to get over there, over the middle of that thing anyway. And as you can see, if I were to hit this, even with a high tee, I mean, I could show you that if I hit a 5-wood over the top of that with a power ball, I would get there. It would roll down and be fine. The other options are to club up to like a high loft driver, power that around the edge, or you can go through this little gap right there and get like a 4-wood, even a 3-wood through there. However, from there, it's a very long shot to get on. And pretty much without using a power ball, probably with pyros, you'd have to use a Maniacs. You're not going to get there. So the other option, the one that I tend to do almost every time on this hole, is just to go up this way. Again, even this shot plays a little uphill. Get this thing out of the way. So you got to give it a little extra oomph. So I'm going to high tee it. Good wind for this. Maniacs. And we're just going to get it up onto the fairway. So this next shot, again, I haven't played this with the pyros yet. 6-wood would get over, 5-wood, well, 6-wood would get over this side of the trees. If you're right in the middle of the trees, I'm not sure. I haven't really experimented with that much. So for the sake of argument here, I'm going to play it a little safe. I'm going to power it, and I like the wind, but again, this plays uphill. So chances are if I just hit this with nothing on it, it's going to land short. So what I'm going to do is add a little extra power to this. And we're going to hope that we can kind of curl it around here and just get it to sit right by the hole there. It's almost always a little bit of a curl shot there. But once you get used to it, it's actually a fairly safe feeling shot. And Mark still has the lead from that first shot. Here's an interesting one. What I actually normally like to do is hit a wind cutter, even with a club like this. Looking at where the pin is, I think I may still be able to get away with it. If I can land a little short and get it to roll down, but as you can see, there's a very small margin of error here. But let's give it a shot and see what happens. I'm going to take the slightest bit off because it is downhill, so this club is going to want to go a lot further, but once this ball gets up in the air, you're going to see it kind of drop like a rock, and all of a sudden it doesn't seem as scary. You can see I'm just a little bit over to the right so that when it hits, it has some room to also bounce to the left, which is where the green is there. So I'm going to take a little bit off. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes a little too far, but for the sake of being, yeah, safe, kind of okay with that. So yeah, your javelins are definitely getting a workout on this course. Here's another one, also plays uphill, so it plays a little short. Again, another sketchy pin position here, but I am going to still try to... So the 1-iron's scary because it is uphill a little bit. It's going to land in a strange spot, kind of like could run into some of all that stuff right there. But the scarier thing about the 1-iron on this shot is that it's just going to roll like mad once it hits. So I think I'm going to just try the 5-wood. I'm going to hit this fairly hard. And I have a feeling it's still going to land a little short. So yeah, that one just scared me that I didn't want to go in the water for obvious reasons. But you saw I hit that fairly with, pretty good power and still landed pretty short of the hole. So that's one that you really need to kind of attack. This one, you pretty much always want to try to get up on this little island. However, once you get up there, there's a huge slope right there that goes down to the right side. You can probably see it better from here, actually. But right there, it goes right down. If you get anywhere on the right side of this thing, you're going into that muck. And that is absolutely not where you want to be. So what I'm going to do... You also have to watch out for this tree here, which can get in the way. I feel like it got in the way a lot more in the arcade version than it ever does here, but I'm really going to leak this over to the left as hard as I can. I think I'm going to hit a power ball. I think I'm going to keep the medium tee because I don't want to go too far here, but I also don't want to be over to the left. You can see I would have probably hit that tree. Ooh, hit that way too hard. Okay, not bad though. Problem is we're in this deep stuff, which the ball is going to come out kind of funny. What I think I'm going to do is play a little safe here. I'm going to use the Ranger and I'm going to aim a little to the right. So in this case, we're just playing safe golf just to give ourselves a putt. The Ranger should treat it like there's nothing going on and it should just kind of leak up there and just get on. So that's a good way to save yourself if you're in that situation. Either way, if I was in the right side of that little landing pad, that would have been a whole different story. I probably wouldn't be sitting on the green. So here's one that I have not tried with the pyros either. However, the 9-wood on this shot, you absolutely need a high tee to get over. But I'll tell you that the 9-wood is the best shot to try to use for this one. I think I'm going to keep it back here a little bit, go high tee. Wind cutter. And I'm actually going to look up and I'm going to look where this little thing is. So there's a little bit of wind pushing me, very little bit of wind pushing me to the side, but there's also a right slope. So I don't want to overdo trying to play the wind because there really isn't much of it. But I do want to account for it just the slightest bit. So I'm going to hit a wind cutter here. And all I'm trying to do is land it a little short, use that down 3, and I just want it to trickle down towards the hole. If I can get it straight. Alright, so the wind is a little at my back, so I am going to take just a bit off. So that didn't play quite like an insider, but that's the idea. I probably could have hit that full speed and been absolutely fine with it. Someone made that shot using cheater clubs. So this is an interesting pin position here. It's a little bit of an uncomfortable spot to me. Obviously it's way downhill. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do here. What I think I'm going to do though is go with the 2-iron, super backspin. I'm going to get way over here because it is downhill. The wind's going to push it like mad, even though it's a 2-iron. The downhill slope is going to give it a lot of extra room to push. Maybe that's a little overdoing it. And I'm going to take a little bit off of it because it's going to really sail. There's a little bit of wind pushing it out. And I'm going to see if I can weasel it in there. Way too far. But it's a 14. Fairly ugly 14. Definitely some guys did a little better than me, but gives you a basic idea about how to play that course.